Hello everyone and welcome to Victoria's Cantina. It gives me great pleasure to bring out my old Jurassic Park dinosaur toys and have an in-depth look at them. Of course, Jurassic World is coming out on Friday, so what better time than to look at these old dinosaur toys than now. So we're kicking things off with Triceratops. Now I remember the day that I purchased this from Walmart. It was 1993. Jurassic Park had just come out, and it was hugely popular. As a kid who was really into dinosaurs at that age, I took an instant liking to Kenner's Jurassic Park dinosaur line. Not only were they nicer and more realistic looking than any of the other dinosaurs that I had had up to that point, but the fact that they were from one of my favorite movies was very, very cool. So I was at Walmart with my grandmother, and I didn't quite have enough to get the Triceratops. For some reason, I remember it being around $21. I had about $14, if I recall correctly, and my grandmother was nice enough to pitch in the difference. So I left Walmart one happy kid with my new Triceratops toy. And as you can see, the box is in pretty rough condition. Not only is it 22 years old, but it's a miracle that it even survived, considering I bought this when I was 8 years old. As a child, I was very particular about my things. I tried to not let other kids or any other people handle them when possible. Not because I was stingy or greedy or anything like that, but rather because I was very particular and wanted to keep my things in as pristine condition as possible. I didn't even really play with them as a kid. I just, took them out of the box and marveled at them and then basically put them back in. So Kenner's Jurassic Park line, when you look at it, is very familiar in appearance. It's very obvious what it is. The image of these boxes is completely ingrained in my head. Basically, you get the Jurassic Park logo on the upper left, and inside, it looks like it's kind of like a sunset type setting. There's some trees in the background, and then you have your Triceratops in there. And the box says removable dino damage wound included, and it also says with head ramming attack. On the right it says realistic dinosaur skin, and also below that limited edition movie collector card inside. And below that it also says official mark. I distinctly remember the commercials from back then. Basically they would say if you don't see the JP logo, then it's not the real Jurassic Park or something along those lines. And if you've been watching my Jurassic World videos lately, that's something that Hasbro is still doing with their dinosaurs, is putting, now it's the JW mark on the dinosaurs, though they're not numbering them like they were back then during the Kenner days. I do have the dino damage still. I don't have the collector card, unfortunately. For whatever reason, none of my large Jurassic Park dinosaurs have the collector card. I'm not sure what happened to them or, why they got lost, but, as of right now, I do not have them. Now looking here at the back of the box, another really cool thing is how Kenner made dioramas of their dinosaurs and some of the action figures and then took photos of them to put on the back of the boxes. Way cool. They put a lot of effort into it, quite obviously, and that's not really something you see nowadays. And we also get a look at quite a few dinosaur toys in the Jurassic Park line on the back of the box. And I do wonder why nowadays Hasbro isn't doing that with the new Jurassic World dinosaurs, because I remember one of the things about being a kid is when you bought something like this, you would look at the back of the box and say, hey, I'm going to get that one next, then I'm going to get that one, and I want this one. I kind of would think that Hasbro's losing out on potential sales by not showing off the rest of the line on the back of their boxes, but, I guess that's how they want to run things. Top of the box gives us a look at the Triceratops toy. Tells you a little bit about what you can do with it. The bottom is basically the same thing, just with a black background. Then your UPC, and then your Kenner information there, 1993, made in Hong Kong. And then one side of the box has the same thing on it. You see the dinosaur there, and then some information. And then the other side is essentially identical. Alright, my friends, and here is our Triceratops outside of the box. As you can see, it's quite impressive. Anatomically speaking, it is pretty much correct, though I think the back looks a little bit too long. Given how nice of a dinosaur toy this is, it's not something that's too big of a hindrance. Sculpting on the animal is absolutely fantastic. Back in the day, Kenner did an excellent job with their Jurassic Park dinosaur lineup, and it's an absolute wonder that they were able to make such nice dinosaurs and sell them to kids in the toy aisle, because ever since Jurassic Park 3 in 2001, the dinosaur toys haven't been all that great. I like a lot of the Jurassic World toys that I've looked at as of late, because they are fun, and there are some that I do really like. But there's no denying that the good stuff was back when I was a kid. Back in 1993 with Jurassic Park, and then in 1997 with The Lost World. From all angles, really, this is a very nice dinosaur. I think the horns are oriented a little bit too much in a narrow position. They should be pointed a little more upwards and a little bit more angled out from its face. But again, it's a really nice dinosaur. And the nostalgia factor here for me is absolutely enormous. So it's easy for me to ignore those kind of issues. Triceratops was sculpted and posed in a way that makes it look like she's just walking along, kind of doing her own thing. She doesn't look particularly happy or aggravated or, frightened or whatever. She's just kind of, growing along, doing her own thing. And aside from the great sculpting, the paintwork on this animal is very, very nicely accomplished. I'll give you guys a close-up here of the head. As you can see, it's very detailed. There's a lot going on here on the frill. You're going to see a lot of nice little bumps and texture along the face. There's nice lines and scales. You can see the beak. Horns look very nice. Eyes painted very nicely. You get the little bony protrusions along the frill as well. Inside the mouth, there's also a little bit. You can kind of see the tongue. But yeah, I mean, the sculpt on this thing is just very, very cool. Even if it's not completely anatomically accurate, it's still very nice. And the realistic skin thing that they did has actually held up, very well in my Jurassic Park dinosaurs. As you can see, it's in excellent condition. There isn't any kind of tearing or any kind of pen marks or nothing like that you sometimes see on really old toys that you had since you were a kid. Like I said, I was very particular about my stuff and very careful with it, so which is a good thing, because I have this Triceratops to enjoy in my collection 22 years later. I really like the soft, realistic dinosaur skin thing. That was always a cool aspect of these dinosaurs. And the coloring that Hasbro applied on here is similar to the film. It's not completely accurate. Underside of the animal shows you that there is a lot of detail to be appreciated. They sculpted the undersides of the feet, which, just doesn't happen anymore. Legs look very nice. The dino damage, as you can see, is right here. It has like a little bit of a notch, and I guess that's where you're supposed to grab it. But yeah, you just pull it out, and you see the insides of the Triceratops. And Hasbro is still doing that with the Jurassic World dinosaurs, only for the most part they're not including any kind of covering, except for the Indominus Rex. So, it's a very shiny look to the muscle tissue and the bones. Pretty cool. And then, just the covering itself is just a little rubber piece that covers the wound. And then to put it back, you simply press in, and it's back in place, just like that. Now to activate the action feature, there is, if you feel on it, like a little bump under here on the left side. So what you're going to do is press on that bump, and it rams the head up and down. That is the action feature that Triceratops has. As you can see, it's quite subtle, and you wouldn't even know it's there, unless you tried pressing it for yourself. So there's no visible signs of the action feature other than, a little bit of a gap here at the head, But other than that, because of the way that they designed and engineered this thing with the realistic skin and everything, it's very well hidden. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have it. This is the Kenner Jurassic Park number 8 Triceratops from the 1993 Jurassic Park line of toys. I think even today this figure still holds up very, very well. It was very impressive to me as an 8-year-old kid when I acquired it. And, even now, it's certainly nicer than what Hasbro's putting forth with the Jurassic World line. It's a shame that the quality isn't like this, that Hasbro chooses not to manufacture toys like this, even though they'd probably be quite a bit more expensive. I certainly think it would be worth it for them to offer, a nicer, higher end line like this. All in all, it's a very nice dinosaur toy. I loved it as a kid, and I still love it now. All right, you guys, stay tuned because we are going to be continuing our look with more of the 1993 Jurassic Park dinosaur toy lineup from Kenner. As always, I want to thank you for watching Victoria's Cantina. Until next time, bye-bye.